Hello everyone, today I'm gonna be ranking all structure decks so you know what to buy. I have only two criteria when ranking these: how good the deck is and how expensive it is after you buy the structure decks, because in some options you need to go and buy a whole bunch of different things. Starting off with the Gaia structure deck, that is one of my personal favorites because I do like the fact that you just buy it 3 times and you're able to play the deck at full power essentially, but the deck is just not very good, so I would say it's C tier unfortunately, even though it's a really good option because it costs only 1500 gems to build the whole deck. Next up we have the spellbook structure deck. This is absolutely terrible. Don't buy this unless you're playing specifically Endymion. There isn't any other reason to buy this, to be honest. Moving on, we have the Dragon Main structure deck, which is one of my personal favorite for many reasons. Number one, it is very cheap, and when you buy it you get the full core out of it. You don't need to spend any extra gems for anything else to get the archetypal cards. Number two, you also get spheres, which is a very good staple, to be honest. And number three, you get to play a very new player friendly deck that you can easily learn, so it's a very good option for new players as well. The one downside it has is the fact that it's not that good of a deck nowadays, but when the new support comes out it will probably go up to A tier. For now I'll give it B tier, but it's a very good option that I really like. Next up we have the blackwing structure deck, and there are two reasons why this is not a bad option. Number one, when you buy it you get almost everything you need. You're gonna have to craft maybe a few cards, but for the most part you're gonna be able to play a really solid deck, which leads me to the reason number two, which is the fact that the deck is pretty solid overall no matter what meta we play in. Now there is one big issue with it though, and it's the fact that it's actually very difficult to learn the combos initially. Once you learn them you just repeat the same thing over and over again, and it does have some really complicated combos at times, but it's a very good option actually. I'll give it an A tier, even though I'm personally not that big of a fan of it, to be honest. I still think it's a very nice option and it's a very solid deck overall. Now moving on to one of the most interesting ones I want to talk about, the blue eye structure deck is an absolute bait. Please don't buy this, it is terrible. You don't need it. Even if you play blue eyes you would maybe buy it once and that's it. The good blue eyes cards are not even there. You're not gonna get even 10% of what you need to build blue eyes actually, and the one good card that I would say you can maybe play in a blue eyes deck would be Jet Dragon, and even then it's not completely necessary. The alternative dragon is not really that great nowadays, and Melody is also not that big of a deal, so there really isn't any reason to pick this up. Please don't get baited. And now we have the most incredible structure deck ever produced. Ninjas, an absolute S tier, absolute perfection. You need this, you absolutely need. Now in all honesty this is a B tier deck. Honestly speaking, it's not that bad, it's not that great, it's kind of in the middle of it, but I'm a huge fan of ninjas and I really can't say anything bad about them. But in all honesty that's a pretty good option because the deck is relatively good, and when you buy it you get everything. You don't need to pull for secret packs, selection packs, nothing. Everything is there. It's definitely worth the gems if you like the archetype. Coming up we have the Salamangreat deck, which I believe to be one of the best options, even though it's a little outdated now because the deck is really solid overall, and it also gives you a lot of cyber support, especially silent mining. It's gonna be used in the majority of cyber stacks. The Salamangreat deck itself is also very good, and it's not as expensive as you would think. You get the majority of cards from the structure deck and you have to buy a couple other cards and craft them, but it's not really as big of a deal as some of the other options, for example blue eyes, where you don't get anything you need. You still get plenty of the good cards, and you can also use them in a lot of different cybers decks, which is a huge benefit as well for me. Now for the next one we have the Cyberdark structure deck, which I believe to be an interesting one because you do get fusion deployment, which is a very good card if you're playing a fusion based deck, but outside of that the Cyberdark archetype isn't anything exceptional. Maybe you're gonna pick this up because you like Zane. I would give it maybe a C tier because I do think that the power level of it is nearly the same as Gaia, but it gives you the fusion deployment, which is also nice, so it's not that bad of an idea to get it because you get fusion deployment and you also get a pretty nice deck to have fun with. Now for the next deck we have the Dark Magician, which I believe to be actually A tier for two reasons. Number one, no matter what people think, Dark Magician isn't as bad if you design it well. You can definitely play this deck and still be very good with it, and you also have the Illusion of Chaos and Magician Souls, which are very good cards. The engine is pretty popular in a lot of decks and you're definitely gonna make use of it. For that reason alone it is actually worth the gems. But that's kind of everything I have to say about Dark Magician. Moving on we have Utopia. This is an absolutely horrible option. Please don't buy this. This is one of the worst structure decks you can ever buy. Same thing goes for the Cypher option. This is also very bad. You would only pick it up as a one copy just to play the Galaxy deck and have like 2 extra deck monsters. That's the only reason why you would buy this. And the Pendulum Magician deck is also not that incredible, but it does give you some nice cards, so I would say it's C tier because you're gonna get the Odd Eyes engine, which is kind of usable every now and then, and you also get some pendulum cards that are not that bad, so I guess it has some value, but it's nothing that incredible to be honest. And now another one of my favorite archetype is the Zombie structure deck. Now in my opinion this is anywhere between A and B tier, and here's the thing: the Zombie archetype is actually very interesting and very unique, so you're definitely gonna have a lot of fun with it. When it comes down to fun you'll definitely enjoy it, I believe that. Second good thing is you do get the majority of zombie cards you're gonna need to build any zombie deck, and from there you can play 60 card versions, 40 card versions, you can experiment all you want, and I believe this to be one of the best options when it comes down to having fun and enjoyable time. So I will say, in my opinion, this is an A tier because it gives you that enjoyment, and at least for me, it does give me a lot of joy to play it. But maybe it's a B tier depending on whether you like the archetype or not. I guess I like the archetype a little more, and that's why I give it a higher score, but I do really believe it's worth the gems to buy this at any time and place. And another interesting option is gonna be the Galaxy Photon deck, which I believe to be pretty decent, even though you're gonna have to pull on the selection and secret packs to actually build the deck and be a good version of it. I still think that it has a little bit of value here and there, so it's not terrible. It's definitely worth the gems to pick it up if you want to play Galaxy Photon specifically, but that's really the only reason you would get it, so I'll give it a B tier. I think it's fair. I think it's a decent deck, you know. Overall, it's pretty nice. And finally, by far, in my opinion, one of the greatest structure decks is actually the Hero structure deck because it has so much going on with it. It's actually a really good value and it makes the Hero deck a lot cheaper. I actually built Heroes without buying this, so definitely I spent a lot of gems building them, but this is a significantly better option. You're still gonna have to pull on secret packs or craft some cards, but if you're a fan of Heroes, I think it's definitely worth it, and it's actually one of the best structure decks to buy in my opinion. But yeah, that's everything I can tell you about the structure decks. I do believe this to be the most accurate way to explain what to buy and what to avoid in 2025 when it comes down to structure decks. If the video was enjoyable and useful to you, I would appreciate like, subscribe. Also check out more Mazdo content in the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.